Professor Gulshan, Ursula von der Leyen spoke of India being a pillar of certainty in an uncertain world. Your thoughts on the momentum being given to India-EU strategic partnership through this visit of von der Leyen and her team?
There are a couple of points which one can take from the statements from both from the Prime Minister and also from the European Commission President. One is obviously both of them highlighted that this meeting was very unprecedented, as we were discussing earlier.
Yes.
Just in the early in their commission, the first visit by more than 20 commissioners to India is obviously unprecedented, and then she was kind of saying that even the planets are aligned, etc. So it means the mood was very good. The second, I think the major takeaway from this, that both of them have very clearly committed that they want to end this FTA negotiations by the end of this year. Now, this is quite ambitious, knowing that we have been negotiating for so many years and there are issues to be resolved. And the environment globally is pretty difficult when nations are raising tariffs, counter tariffs, then working on free trade agreements is not an easy task. But I think it means they really want to work together to set the global agenda on trade right. So this is, I think one has to see, but this is really very good, ambitious, I would say, target which has been set. Secondly, I think both of them have also clearly mentioned that we are going to have a summit meeting by the end of this year. And before that, there would be a strategic plan for the future is going to be prepared. So these are more technical work, which I think both the teams would be working. The second thing which I think they have also highlighted, apart from talking about defense, because now within defense, as we know that Prime Minister mentioned about working on maritime security, on cyber security, on counter terrorism, counter radicalization, and similar things Ursula von der Leyen has also mentioned. So it means one can also see a lot of defense cooperation happening in certain areas. And this is also interesting because this is the first time I'm seeing the European leader in India or anywhere else not really starting their speech with which they used to do Russia's war on Ukraine. So she never mentioned this, only indirectly something she mentioned. So it means the mood is very different. And she herself has mentioned that the geopolitical situation has changed very, very differently. Another point which I think the Prime Minister highlighted, that working together with the European Union on triangular development cooperation projects in Africa and the Indian Ocean. Now, some of these things were earlier also discussed, but they never really materialized because we never really came out with specific projects. In principle, some of the things were agreed earlier, but I think now it seems that there is a more seriousness toward this, working on triangular development cooperation projects in other developing countries. And then both have also talked about India-Middle East economic corridor. So they have given obviously onto connectivity a major focus. We know that it was announced on the sidelines of G20 presidency meeting here, but later on, developments within the Middle East have somehow, because of that, certain things have not really progressed as we imagined. But I think there is a clear political commitment from both sides to work on India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. And the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen also, I think, spent quite a lot of time on artificial intelligence and how India and the European Union, in fact, she mentioned that, this should be the artificial intelligence should be the heart of our agenda. So it means this is one area where one can see a lot of things happening this year. In fact, India is going to have the Global Summit on Artificial Intelligence. And at the moment, as we know that both China and the United States, they are kind of top in the artificial intelligence, and the Europeans and India both have capacities, and a lot of things are happening. So they feel that they also need to put together certain things, and then they should not really lag behind as far as artificial intelligence is concerned. And another point which was made by her, that there are difficulties in competitiveness in Europe, but Indian skill migration, as we were discussing, and mobility and other things, in fact, so both these economies can really complement each other. I think these were some of the points. Which
and
I think,
of course, we are short of time, sir. But yes, the underlying message, like you are indicating, EU chiefs trust on India as a responsible partner in the global world order is where we can sum it off. Thank you very much, Professor Gulshan Sachdeva, for being with us.